Hello, girls. Cynthia.
Hello.
I want to welcome you to this third episode of People Talking Life and Business.
Oh, Fab. Thank you for having me.
Yes, you're very welcome. It's an honor to have you here. And why don't you tell me just quickly a little bit about you and your background, and we'll move on with a couple of quick questions after that.
Sure, of course. So just briefly, I am originally from Cape Verde Islands. I grew up in Africa, lived in France, in the UK, had a very global life. And most of my life I worked in retail as a manager and then as a sales project manager until I couldn't do it any longer, until I didn't have passion anymore and started looking for something that allowed me more freedom and flexibility.
Yeah.
So in very short, this is a bit of the background. It's mainly been retail for me professionally.
So you love traveling as well then, I guess.
I'm passionate about traveling.
Yeah.
I have this in my blood, really. I've actually just been traveling for the past 8-9 months. I did a whole tour of Europe, and I'm currently in Senegal, West Africa, where I've been staying there, escaping the winter until it gets better on the other side, and then I'll resume the traveling.
Yeah. We all kind of love traveling, isn't it? And if we look at it, I mean, back in the days, we were never stationary until we started agriculture. Yeah. We were always moving. I just came to think of that now.
Yeah, we were nomads.
It's in our blood. Okay, so describe to me curls, Cynthia curls, before joining the SFM community and after joining.
So before, as I just said, I used to work in retail.
So do you have any experience in sales or marketing?
Sorry?
Do you have experience in sales or marketing besides working in a store?
Apart selling in a store, no.
Yeah.
Marketing, absolutely not. The world, I had no clue this whole world existed.
Yeah.
I really was an offline person who went to the store, trained her team, looked after her customer, but I never had any idea about all these marketing things. Absolutely not. And I enjoyed being in retail for a long time. It was during the last 5 years that things started shifting for me. And it took me a bit of time to realize that I didn't have passion for the job any longer, that the retail world did not match my values, and to realize that actually that made me miserable, really miserable. It was harder and harder to wake up in the morning and to go to work. And the only thing that kept me going was my team, because training and coaching has always been my passion. But it took me a long time to realize that. I had to hit a wall in an old job to realize, actually what I like about that is just the human interaction and helping others.
Yeah.
So that's more or less the path that led me to look for something else. I had to restructure myself and ask myself a few questions, like, why am I not happy? What's going on? What am I looking for? It was a complete change. And I started by studying coaching. And then once I finished that, I was like, okay, great. I've done this course. What am I doing now? What am I doing with this new skill? How am I putting it out there? I freaked out really freaked out and started doubting myself. I was just nearly ready to leave everything and go back to retail, to that comfort zone that I knew so well. But then I came across a video on YouTube and boom, it was a little bit like in those cartoons when you have those little fairies that coming, "Alakazoo, mitika boo, la bibidi babidi boo, boo." Here is the solution for you.
Was that like the first time you saw an ad like this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was, I was a lot on YouTube because I felt unhappy. I was looking for ways to to bring some peace into my mind and my heart and my body. I was constantly watching videos on the law of attraction, meditations, all these spiritual things in order to find balance, to find a bit of happiness. I was really desperate in a way.
Yeah.
To find myself. And this is how I came across my the first ad. And at first I did not click. I did not get it. I did not pay attention. But then after a while I saw an ad and I watched it until the end. And I felt, okay, this is exactly what I'm looking for. All I heard was freedom, flexibility, traveling. And I was like, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's more or less the before. It was I was ripped from the inside, and it was a conflict between my current job and my values and the person that I wanted to become really. But you do that for so long that you forget who you are. You forget that.
But what we never forget is the potential we have. That we have unlimited potential and that we're just living below it, or we are made and forced to live below it, to conform with society and the jobs and just understimulated, really.
Absolutely.
So go on.
Yeah, you get into a routine. You think you're doing the right thing because, that's part of my education. I thought I had to get a job and climb the ladder and work really hard, and that it was part of the whole game. And then suddenly you've got that enormous insatisfaction and pain inside of you. And a lot of people do feel that, but they don't want to go inside and search for the message that it's a message, basically, that it's time to get back onto your path, to do what you're really good at, to look for your passion, and to live a life that is a bit more fulfilling mentally, spiritually, intellectually, physically, and so on. So it's challenging to get out of these habits. It takes time. It takes a lot of internal search. It takes practice, a bit of grit. You have to keep on going, because at the beginning you pull your hair out and you're like, oh, I'm too stupid to do this. I don't understand. What is this? What is that? But then suddenly, bam, you manage to do one thing and it gets easier and easier and easier and easier. And then you start flowing. So yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of scary to, as you were saying or describing that place where you're like having to start looking into yourself, and like it's like an big existential question that needs to be answered, and it's not easy to be found, that answer.
And a lot of people try to avoid this by watching TV for hours, or spending a lot of time on their phones or their tablets, or going out or drinking, in some extremes, maybe doing drugs and things like that. It's to avoid a little bit all of this, because it requires a lot of honesty with yourself.
Yeah.
It requires for you to look in the mirror and be willing to look at every single parts of yourself and learn to love them as a whole. So yeah, it's a challenge.
Yeah, okay. I just lost the last part of there. It was a bad connection.
Oh, I was just saying that it required you to look at all the parts of yourself
Okay.
and learn to accept them as a whole and work with all of this to move on in your life. So, but it's really worth it.
Yeah, and there's an abundance of stories in the community that everybody has to overcome these kind of things and their bad habits and, you know, being vulnerable. Everybody has their own story. And yeah, so, and after the SFM, let's get to that and what the SFM means to you, what it is to you.
So when I joined, I just thought, okay, I'm going to learn how to build a website and do marketing. In my head, it was a very technical thing. And then I started joining webinars, and I could not believe it. I was like, oh my God, this is a complete 360-degree training. It's not only technical, they're really touching at all the levels. You're helped with your self-development, your mindsets, you're helped on the technical side. And it's fun because the community is absolutely incredible. You find everything in there. You find friends, you'll have the support, you will laugh your head off because people are very happy. It's a very positive environment to be in. And then I just slowly started building this business. But what I did really was rebuilding myself. It's way beyond just building a business. For me, in short, it was really rebuilding myself. I rediscovered who I am at the core of my personality and my heart. And from there, I was able to build a business that is true, that reflects my experience, my wisdom. Yeah, I have a complicated story. And yeah, what really happened there was letting go of a difficult story, letting go of expectations I had towards myself, and just slowly learn to embrace who I am and use it for others. Use all this experience, use all the resources that I have that have helped me to overgrow all of this and help others, mainly women, because women are my passion. This is the battle that I've chosen. So yeah, it's much more than just a website. This is a fraction of the growth.
Oh yeah, like the business side is. I mean, there's many people coming in here as well who have a business already, or who, and even have successful businesses, but are not happy. They're still not fulfilled. They're lacking this, you know. But they come in here and learn how to, you know, do fulfilling businesses with which align with their core values. So they are always feeling joyful about their jobs and about their businesses. So that's probably, yeah, biggest part in this, the mindset of that, the happiness of working, that it can be fun.
Absolutely.
And the technical part is so, I mean, that's what the big Tony Robbinses and all the guys say is 20% of success is just learning the technical stuff, which is really easy, really. But then 80% is in the mind.
That's the challenging part, because it's facing yourself and be willing to open up and peel the layers of education, belief, we have so much expectation about ourselves, and sometimes it's not even ours, it's our parents, it's society, it can be religion, it can be so many different things. And the thing that is great about this system is you don't have to do this on your own. That's the hard part, doing this on your own. You can't always be the only voice you hear, because it's not always objective, is it? You sometimes need a community that reflects something else to you, that gives you a different perspective, that supports you, because you'll be filled with emotions at times, and yeah, you just need someone to grab your hand and be like, it's going to be okay, you can do that, believe in yourself, and just keep on moving.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that, I would have quit a long time ago. I
Yeah.
100% guaranteed.
Yeah.
Because it's not, being alone and starting a business. Wow. I don't know. Apparently there is people who, because all of this information is really out there for free on YouTube, on the internet, whatever, but how to do these things, the technical stuff, but then you cannot replace the community in any way, and the support. And that's it's not just been one time, but many times where I've just been and I needed the helping hand, and I always got it. And yeah,
people just jump on a Skype call with you.
yeah,
I have done it with a lot of members as well, where they're like, and sometimes it's that one little thing that is blocking you, and then the person gets demotivated, and it's like, always ask for help. Just pop a message on our Facebook group and be like, I'm going crazy, I can't do this on my website. And you will always have someone jumping in there being like, let's get on a Skype call, share your screen, click here, do this, go there, bim, bim, bim. And it's sorted sometimes in half an hour, 1 hour, done. And it's so motivating because I can move to the next step. It's little things like this. And it can be on the technical side, but it can be also on the emotional side. Sometimes people are going through things in their lives, and then the community will be there, and they'll get like this massive digital hug sent to them as well. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we get here thinking, I want freedom, I want money, and then you realize that what you're going to transform and what we are all looking for really is just happiness.
Yeah, happiness.
We want happiness.
Awesome. So I have two quick questions before I let you go. What would you say to somebody who has found reviews of the six-figure mentors, and who still think or believe or have been told that it's a scam or a pyramid scheme or any of these things?
I truly believe that, because I saw them too, I truly believe that it's important to test things yourself and make your own opinion. Okay, it's good to look out for reviews and things like this, but at the end of the day, what works for one person might not work for another, and vice versa. So test things yourself. Go and find out for yourself. And it can be sometimes a bit tricky with those reviews, because some people will use it as a marketing technique.
Oh yeah.
As well, to get people to sign up for their own program. So if you read a review and then they're offering you something else there, that's a dodgy review. Yeah. So just go and test for yourself. Yeah, that's it. The people have nothing to lose. They can get out of this at any time. So
yeah, that's why we have the money back guarantee, because we are so, there's nothing to hide. It's completely transparent, and we are so incredibly proud of this community that we have, money back guarantee, no problems. And if it's for you, it's for you. If not, no pressure.
Absolutely. it might not be something that works for everybody. We're all different, and we all have different passions. And just the fact that there is a refund given to you within the first 30 days, already that is a sign that it's not a scam. Scams don't give money back. So that's the first sign. But really, I would just say, just go and test it for yourself. See if it resonates, see if it works for yourself. I'm not going to spend hours explaining, oh, it's fantastic, it's this, it's that. It works for me, you might not like it. Go and test. You can't always take what people are saying for granted. It's like everything in life, really, you know, whether it's an education program online or whether it's tasting something you've never tried before.
Yeah.
Just go and figure it out for yourself. Don't just stick to what's written. I'm often surprised by the fact that people would just take what is written for the truth without going and testing for themselves. So,
especially on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In life as well, not only in the internet, life as well. Like, you know, sometimes people will tell me something, we'll have a conversation, but I will always go and check things for myself as well. I'll be like, oh, that's an interesting point of view, but I'm going to widen my horizons. I'm not going to stick to just what person B has told me. I will just go and figure out a few more bits and bobs. And then I'll make my own opinion based on those research and how I feel. And I believe in following your guts, really. So that would be my advice. Nothing else, really. Keep it simple.
All right. I don't know. Lastly, do you have any the biggest takeaway for you in this community? Anything that you want to say or share, or anything that happened to you that is really special? Any friendships?
All of that. It has really been, it has challenged me so much. I have reached the place of peace that I am in today because I was willing to drop the guard, and I was willing to open myself like a drawer and pull out all these, you know, when you do spring cleaning and you decide to really go and reorganize the cupboards, I did that with myself. And I've pulled some very painful things out of the cupboards. And I think this is my biggest takeaway. I did a lot of work on myself already, but this has allowed me to completely let go of traumatic experiences and turn this into something powerful, positive, and helpful for others. This is my biggest takeaway. And that true peace that I feel inside now. I always had this nut inside of me and that little bit of anger about my past and everything. And that's all gone. That's all gone. The friendships that I've made here, they're unbelievable. And they all started online, just like this, like we're talking now. And then you meet people at seminars, and they have really deep roots now. People are amazing. What they've done for me here, it always makes me a little bit emotional. My internet. Yeah, it always makes me a little bit emotional, that the amount of support, the love that you can get. Yeah. Not feeling alone was very important for me because I felt alone for 20 years.
Oh my God, yeah. That just took me back to the point where I signed up, and I was feeling so alone, and I didn't know what to do. And I was watching YouTube. And yeah, I have not looked back since then. It was community is what I have really missed in my life. So that's huge one. But that's a massive takeaway.
It's a massive takeaway, and we deserve it, don't we? There's a moment where you realize, God, I deserve to be happy. I projected myself in the future as like, am I going to live my entire life with this turmoil inside of me, with that bitterness?
Yeah.
And you don't want that, because you look at yourself, around yourself, and you see older people that have carried this their whole entire life. You look at our parents sometimes, or aunts and things that are still bitter, and I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want that. There must be something better out there that I can do with my life and even with my past. And I made that decision. It's a choice.
Yeah.
It's a choice. Really, it starts there.
Yeah, and that's like the internet has disconnected us in so many ways, and the so anti-social media, like I call it sometimes, but this community is really making use of it in the right way and actually connecting us to each other, and getting rid of that loneliness, and creating that community, because we're so lonely and just working and watching our phones. It's terrible sometimes. What I see on the buses, on the subways and stuff, it's like, okay, crazy.
It is.
Yeah. Alrighty.
We're not there anymore. So,
Exactly.
and I hope it will have a snowball effect. For me, the most important is just for people to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And fulfilled, to feel in that emptiness they feel inside of them, with something, to feel alive.
Yeah.
Feel alive, and not be in this kind of zombie mode that a lot of us have been.
Yeah.
But I see that every day.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. All over the world. All right. Thank you so much. That was a really nice big takeaway. And thank you so much for showing up and letting me interview you. And you're truly an inspiration to me and to the whole community.
Thank you.
I will see you soon in the community and at another event very soon.
We'll be there, always there for you guys.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, and have an awesome day. Okay?
Bye guys. Bye.
Bye.